Hello, a while ago on a Tuesday flight night, myself, Taff, and a few others from the Taff and XL community were caught up in a dogfight on the cliffs of Dover A-Tag server, and well, something odd happened. In fact, this happened. So, I've lost the better part of my right wing, and my ailerons are no longer working. But somehow I've managed to retain control of my aeroplane, using the rudder and the elevators to keep control of the aircraft and carefully balance it. The 109 was kind enough to leave me alone, so I thought, well, let's try and fly home, much to the amazement of my fellow flightmates.
You still in the air?
Yep, I've got 1.5 wings. However, flying this aircraft, it turns out, is not very easy. In fact, when I tried to turn toward the airfield, I rather lost control. Yeah, steady. You can see I spun the plane and now just about making it across. And recovered. So by this point I've been flying for about 10 minutes, and rather unfortunately for me, the servers gave up. I lost connection to the game and I was booted back to the menu. But that left me wondering, could I, if I'd had the time, could I have landed the plane? So what's the easiest way to knock off your own wing? Well, just crash into another aircraft, obviously. However, it threw me right into a stall right away, and if you thought it was difficult recovering from a stall normally, when you've got all your ailerons and both wings, well... needless to say, that was quite difficult to recover from, and now that the plane's back in order, to the runway. Well, this is quite difficult because the aircraft wants to torque steer as you adjust your throttle as you slow down to land, but also as you drop your landing gear and flaps, the plane will be considerably unbalanced, making it a right handful to try and keep it pointed at the runway. As you can see, I can't keep the plane flying level, so I settle for flying roughly straight, just point at the runway and hope for the best. Unfortunately, I'm coming down just a bit too fast, but still on the runway, and big bounce, and I've just about, oops, held it, and back on our wheels, and lost the end of our wing. But that was quite a rough landing, so let's see if we can do a little better. So without further ado, let's knock off that wing again and get back to the runway. This time I'm approaching from a bit lower angle rather than diving on the runway like last time, so I hopefully won't bounce as much, but again I can't keep the plane level, so I'm just settling for keeping it pointed forwards. Undercarriage has gone down, and a little bit short now. Some power, but that unsettles the plane, makes it wobble all over the place, and touchdown. Bit of a bounce, but just about under control still. Now dragging my right wing on the floor again, but look around. Plane's in one piece, well, mostly in one piece. So there you have it. I reckon, had I not lost connection, I'd have probably put the plane down in one piece. I actually found knocking my wing off to be the more difficult part of all this, not the landing process, and although it took a bit of practice to be able to reproduce it, I have managed to lose both wings, but it took a lot of precision to achieve it. Unfortunately, I'd lost too much lift, and the aircraft could no longer physically fly. No matter what I tried, I couldn't keep my airspeed up, and I couldn't keep myself from descending. So inevitably I ended up ploughing through a cornfield. But there is one more thing, a little bit of fun, playing with the damage model of the Spitfire. So this is an actual tactic that real-life pilots used, although they used it against V1 flying bombs, not a Wellington. But we're about to go Wellington tipping. Now if I just line the aircraft up, a little bit further forward, lower the wing, and gently give it a little tap, the end of the wing comes off. Unfortunately he's still flying, so let's come back up and try again. Level ourselves out, line ourselves up, and now he's drifting to the right, so it's making it a little bit more difficult. He started to tip. So I'll get up from underneath him, let's have a jab at the bit further into the wing. Just trying to match speeds and compensate for the fact he is now drifting to the right. Easy. Just a little bit closer, and oop. You see I've now taken off too much for his wing and whoa, a little bit too close. Now he's been tipped, he's lost control, he's going into the ground. Now, you're probably wondering, why didn't I take any damage doing that? Well, truth is I did take damage, as you'll see in a moment. So we watch him spiral into the ground helplessly. Boom. So what happened to me? Well, if you have a look, I'm actually missing my wingtips. This is a peculiarity of the Spitfire's damage model, but I'm now flying a clipped wing Spitfire. The wingtip, for whatever reason, has its own break-off point, and I can break that off to knock other pieces of aeroplanes off. Although I wouldn't recommend it against a enemy shooting back at you. Thanks for watching.